Good morning, Internet. This is Car Stuff with Katherine. My name is Katherine. We're going to talk about some car stuff. And the car stuff we're doing today is a road trip. Road trip! This is actually going to be my 1,000-mile review of the 2019 Chevy Colorado Z71 off-road. I have now driven, I'm on a road trip right now. I'm leaving Las Vegas, and I've been in the car for a couple hours, and I am on my way to Reno. I need to go provide my dad with some adult supervision, so that's what I'm gonna go do. And I haven't seen him in a minute, and I need to go see him and a little sister, make sure she's still gangster, which she probably is, and a little brother, and make sure he's still got his head on straight, which he probably does. Go see how everybody is. I just left the Area 51 Armagosa Valley brothel, which is a gas station that you really can't miss. It's gas station, deli, diner, photo op, and whorehouse. Because Nevada. And if you are living in a place that is not here, if you've never driven through Nevada, I mean, what are the things that Nevada is really known for is legalized gambling and legalized prostitution. So there are brothels, and they are out and about in the middle of the desert, but they're not in any of the major metropolitan areas. It's a county by county basis, and Clark County is where Las Vegas is, and Henderson, and there are no brothels in Clark County. There's no legalized prostitution in Clark County. There's also no legal prostitution in Washoe County, and Washoe County is where Reno is. So any of the major metropolitan areas, because there's really only two in the whole state, in the 7th largest state in the union, any of the major metropolitan areas, you're not allowed to have brothels. So they're all in the middle of the desert. They're usually built on single wides or double wides, and it's I don't know if that's what you were thinking, but if not, it's not what you think. Let's get back to the truck. Dinah, who is not a prostitute, has been doing extraordinarily well for the last 1,000 miles. So I bought the truck about a month ago. Oh, shit. I think about a month ago today. And it's just lovely. It's just wonderful. Yeah, go around, enjoy it, doing the speed limit. Do not think Nevada Highway Patrol will not get you just because you were in the middle of Nevada. There ain't crap else for them to do out here. They are bored, and if you were going at all over the speed limit, there is a fair likelihood that they are going to screw with you. So do not screw with the nitpies in Nevada Highway Patrols. But anyhoozle, I had some concern about the comfort of this truck. I had some concern about whether or not it was going to be well suited to road trips, and my concern about it is, justified, because a 4-wheel drive truck, an off-road capable vehicle is not going to ride as nice as something that is designed just for pavement, as something that is designed just for the city. The suspension is going to be a little stiffer. You're going to feel a few more of the bumps in the road. Now that having been said, how does this stack up next to the Volt, which is the last time that I drove to Reno? I drove the Volt, I don't want to be unkind to the Volt, but this is infinitely better in every possible way. Now part of that is due to the fact that the Volt was a 2012, and that this is a 2019. It's new, so it's gonna be better. Part of that is due to the fact that vehicle was not well suited for road trips. It could do it. It would do it if it had to do it, but it didn't like doing it. Oh, now I gotta be the one passing because of an RV. All right, that's fine. Here is something that I love about this truck. Gets up to 100 miles an hour right now. Not later, not tomorrow, now. That's something the Volt wouldn't do. Now, from a dig, from a red light, it would break off Corvettes and Camaros all day, which would crack me up. The Volt really would. It would just take off. So, and that's that electric vehicle torque. Now, that having that instantly available torque, That having been said, when you were already going at speed and you needed to get around something, the Volt was kind of gutless. It just was. It wasn't designed to go. It was designed to stop. It wasn't designed to speed. It was designed to regen. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. But being out here, oh, Lord, am I comfortable. I can get on the freeway and I can pass things that need to be passed. You guys know I'm not a speed demon. I drive like somebody's Grammy because, well, I'm somebody's Grammy. And that's fine. But when I need it to do things, it's ready to do things. If I want to take a hard right now and go out into the middle of the desert, which is on all sides, I can. I'm not going to encounter very much terrain out here that this vehicle cannot or would not do stock. Now, I have not done any modifications to the suspension or to the performance of this vehicle, and we have taken it out and tested it, and it'll get to just about any campsite I'm going to want to sleep at, and that's pretty much what I got it for. I have done one mod, and that is tint. We got that done yesterday because I knew I have done this drive before without tint. Not a lot of people know this about me. As much as I like being outside, this is sort of a little bit of an ironic detail. I actually have an allergy to sunshine. It's not a common thing, but it is something that I have to deal with, and I live in one of the sunniest places in the world. Now, it's mostly not an issue because in Las Vegas, you spend all your time in air-conditioned spaces. You move from one air-conditioned space to the next, and it's not a hugely big deal. First thing I get up every morning, I cover myself head to toe in SPF 100 to keep, the UV off so that I don't get sick, and I just go about my day. And it's not too big a deal. And as I've gotten older, the allergy has gotten better. It was much worse when I was younger. But at the end of a road trip, in a vehicle without tint, driving across Nevada, I get a sunburn. And the way I sunburn is different than the way everybody else sunburns. I sunburn and then I hurl. I feel, you start to feel that heat stroke at all. You start to feel even a little bit of burn on your skin. By the time I feel that way, I'm ready to puke my own toenails. It's not good. It comes with hideous joint pain, and that lasts for a couple of days after a really bad sun exposure for me. So, since I had the means to do it, and I live in a city full of amazing tint shops, we went and got it tinted. I didn't know anything about tint. Rob actually used to do tint professionally, among all of the millions of other things he has done professionally. I really love that about him. There's a very diverse experience of the world and all the things that he's done. And he found a highly recommended tint shop and I'd never had anything tinted before. I never had the means to do it. And, he was like, what do you think about getting your truck tinted before you do this trip? And I'm like, I have no idea what amount of time does that take? What kind of financial commitment does that take? Well, let me tell you, he got me an appointment at a place called Got Tint on Decatur. So now if you are a Las Vegas local and you're watching this, Got Tint. This place, like Got Milk, but Got Tint, was absolutely phenomenal. I could not have been treated better. They took my truck right on time. I showed up in time for my 4 o'clock appointment yesterday. Left work a little bit early to go get the truck tinted. They said, there's a PT's, which is like our sports bar chain that we have all over town. There's PT's right there. You can walk right on over there, and we'll have your truck done in 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, okay. So I walked next door to PT's. Got myself a glass of water, got myself a bratwurst and some deep fried pickles. And before I was done with my deep fried pickles, 29 minutes into the tint shop, he calls and goes, Miss Jackson, your truck's done. And I was like, sir, you have got to be kidding me. You said 45 minutes to an hour on the safe side. He goes, honestly, I told you that amount of time because I expect people to give me phone calls. I expected the phone to ring. I expected something to come up. I was just trying to be on the safe side, but we didn't have any interruptions, and I was able to get to your truck immediately, and she's all done. You can come pick her up. And I was like, well. And I walked on over there, and I'll be damned, the truck is tinted. And I did the 2 fronts to, I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't do limo tint or anything nuts. We have regulations about it in Nevada, about, they can pull you over if your windows are tinted too dark. Which I guess I get, because if you're driving around at night and you have really, really dark tint, like if you have zeros on your front windows, you're not going to see crap at nighttime. You're wearing sunglasses at night, and that's unsafe. Like, I get that. But I didn't want to get crazy with it. I'm just like, give me some UV protection in the front windows, because they were, from the factory, untinted. And then give me the windshield strip, which I have up here right now. And I thought, like, the windshield strip was a little weird for 47 seconds. And now I love it. It keeps the glare off. I feel safe in my truck. This is going to be the first road trip I have taken that is over 3 hours long where I know I'm not going to get a sunburn. Ordinarily by now I'd already be feeling kind of queasy. I'm not going to get sunsick on this trip. And he did the whole thing, and I asked for these 2 front windows and the windshield strip, and I said, what's my damage? And he goes, $110. And I handed him the cash, and I'm completely pleased. The truck itself, very, very comfortable. She's been doing amazingly well. Runs great. Love the auto start. Love. I'm just in love with Dinah, the Colorado, to the point where you guys can't really see. I'll take a picture and post it somewhere later. But Rob got me this really cool shirt, and it's the Chevy Colorado shirt. And I'm like, my first road trip in my Chevy Colorado. I'm wearing my Colorado t-shirt. Yeah, we're going to take her across Nevada. We're going to drive more or less the length of the state for the most part, and see what she could do. And we'll get her out on the highway, and let's see here. My miles per gallon has been 17.3, and I did boner move, and I forgot to reset trip number 2 for this trip in specific. I'll do it for the way back is what I'll do, and get some more data. So the mileage, it's not going to be amazing in something like this, but that having been said, the tank's plenty big, and I've got fuel stops everywhere that I'm going to need them, and the seat in this is so much more comfortable than the seat in the Volt, which kind of blows my mind because, come on in. It kind of blows my mind just how comfortable this seat is compared to the one in the Volt, because the Volt was supposed to be the fully loaded premium luxury model, and it was that. It was all of those things. But those bucket seats, man, and they were hard. The seats in that car were hard. The seats in this they're plush, and they're leather, and they're soft, and I've got a little button down here that fills up a little air bladder for lumbar support that I can, raise up when I need the extra support and let out when I need the relief. And I've got plenty of room. I'm not squished up in the seat. That's nice. There's no bolsters or anything, because it's not a race car. It's a truck. Got a really nice headrest. It's just beautiful in here. It's just wonderful. And it's such a happy place. The steering wheel, everything, all the controls on the steering wheel are very well organized. There's these little bits in the back of the steering wheel that feel like flappy paddles, but they're volume control on one side and channel control on the other. So that's something that's pretty nice. And it rides beautifully. Now, driving it around town, it took a little bit of time to get used to, because it's twice the size of the Volt. So, I had to basically relearn all my parking habits, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember I was taught how to drive in a truck. The very first thing I ever drove was a truck. I took my driving test in a truck, and parallel parked it like a boss on the first shot, just so you know. So chill it with the stereotypes. And I feel at home in this thing. And I was just talking to Rob yesterday. For very comparable money, I could have what is easily a nicer car. And I test drove, and the one I'm talking about is the Blazer. And I test drove the Blazer. And just so you guys know, if you've been thinking about buying the new Chevy Blazer and you've been on the fence about it, and it's something that's within your grasp, and you're living that kind of lifestyle, go get it. It's beautiful. It was comfortable. It was wonderful. The seats were more comfortable. The dashboard was, oh God, she's beautiful, like jewelry. Everything was black, was red stitching. It was so sexy. All the chargers were right where you would want them to be, full of amenities, great big beautiful seats in the back. The whole system folds down with this crazy sliding storage cargo system, and plenty of ample power, and every bit more comfortable, more practical, and more everything than what this is. But when I got into it, it felt like someone else's car. And I was talking to the salesman, and we test drove the bad bitch, the one that makes all the power, and then we test drove the other one, and they were both just absolutely lovely. really beautiful vehicles, and I hated them. I did not feel at home at all, and I don't know how to explain it. It just didn't feel right. And I asked him, like, do you have any Colorados? And he goes, yeah, I got Colorados. We sell a lot of Colorados. I got a parking lot full of Colorados right back there. And I was like, do you have the Z71? He goes, you know, I do just so happen to have a handful of Z71s. I was like, can we go take a look at those? And he looks at me, he goes, really? Don't you work in an office? I was like, look, you trying to sell a car today or not? And he took me over to the trucks, and I'd seen them on the road before, but they look different when I'm thinking about buying one. And I was looking at him, and oh, they look just so adorable. It was like that little puppy in the window kind of feeling. Like, the truck looked at me, and it was like, oh, are you my new mommy? Are you going to take me home? And I was like, yeah, that's the truck. That's totally it. And then I got in it, and I sat down, and I was like, hello. Like, the seat was made for my big fat ass. Like, it just fit, and it feels good, and I love it. And now it's covered in bugs and dirt because I'm driving it across the desert to go see my dad. And I'm very pleased. If you've been thinking about getting one of these trucks, I highly recommend it. Most of the time, the mileage is not a concern to me because my commute is incredibly short. There are people with driveways that are longer than my commute. I'm not really kidding about that. My commute is very, very short now, which, by the way, is why you guys have been seeing less videos. It's great. It's incredibly capable. I can't wait to start doing some things to it. I definitely want to do lift, wheels, and tires. That's the thing that has to happen. But I'm not going to do it until late in the fall, if not into the winter. And the reason for that is that we have a trip that we are planning, a long one, a 10-day one. And I'm not going to go through all the hassle of lifting it and putting now I'm going to put inefficient rubber on this truck. We went out to the desert, and it took just about every hill except for this really sandy dune, and it couldn't get up it, and it wasn't that it didn't make the power, and it wasn't that she didn't make the torque, it was that she wasn't wearing the right shoes. It didn't have the grabby, the grippy grabbies. It needed grippy grabbies, and it didn't have grippy grabbies, and I'm going to add grippy grabbies at some point, but this is not a grippy grabby time, because they're noisy on the highway, and they're sticky, and they wear down really quickly, and they're really fuel inefficient, and that's not what I'm doing with the truck right now. So we're doing some distance driving right now. I'm going to go ahead and leave the stock rubber on it, probably until after the trip, and I just can't leave stock wheels on the truck forever. I can't. So if you guys have any recommendations, put them in the comments down below. Now this video's already gone longer than I meant it to because I am in the middle of freaking nowhere and I got nothing else to do but record stuff. So I'm going to make a couple more. But for now, my 1,000-mile review, which has been a little bit scattered. I might have gotten up super early for this road trip. My 1,000-mile review of the 2019 Chevy Colorado Z71 it's awesome! Get one! They're great! If you have truck stuff to do, I recommend this truck. If you have truck stuff to do and most of the time you find yourself never needing a full-size pickup truck, a big, fat, freaking Silverado, which have gotten ginormous, by the way, I highly recommend it. We're going to pass this here trailer. Yeah, 100 right now. Easy, easy. Oh, I love that. It's good. If this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing right over here. Here's some other things I think you'll enjoy right down here. My name is Katherine. This is Car Stuff with Katherine. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile! You're in a Colorado!